Hello, my name's Sandra from Coaster Country and I'm so happy that you're here with me today because we are making good old-fashioned cordial just like Grandma used to make. Now I promise you there is no cordial that you can buy in the shop that is going to taste as nice or as authentic as this one. Now as you can see, I've already made a head start, but the recipe was so simple that I just kind of had to stop and come and get the camera and share it with you guys. So it's a 2-ingredient recipe. You need your favourite citrus and you need some good old-fashioned white sugar. Now, I'm using a medley of fruit here today. I am using grapefruit, orange, mandarin, and lemon. Now, you can use any combination. You could choose to simply keep it with one particular fruit. But I had all of these citrus sitting in my fruit bowl looking a little bit sad and just begging to be used. So we're going to do a medley cordial today. So what you can see I've actually peeled the fruit and I've reserved the rind here in this bowl. And there's a good reason for that. In a minute, we're going to juice the fruit and measure how much juice we get from it. Once we know how much juice we have, we're going to use the same measurement. As in, if there's 600 ml of juice, I'm going to use 600 grams of the sugar. I'm going to add the sugar to the rind. What that does is the sugar helps to draw out the natural essential oils in the rind of the fruit to add a different depth and complexity of flavour to the cordial. Once we've let it sit for a little while, and I'll show you what it looks like, it actually turns into like a bit of a syrupy golden goodness. And that's when you know that you've let it sit for long enough. Once we've let it sit, we're going to add the juice that we've collected to the mixture. We're going to stir it around, let it sit and let it dissolve a little bit, and then we're going to pour it into a sterilised bottle. It should keep for at least a couple of months in the fridge, provided you've sterilised your bottle well, and we'll kind of go from there. So let's see how it's done. So I've got some fruit. Now, I've got to admit, this is the total amount of sugar that I have in the house today. So I've measured it, there's 700 grams of sugar here. So I can't have more than 700 mils of juice out of my fruit. So I'm gonna start small. If I need to peel a few more, then we will. I've got my trusty juicer here. If I was doing a bigger quantity, which sometimes I do, so just the other week I made some orange cordial, I made a good couple of litres of it. I probably had 20 or 30 oranges. In that instance, all I do is I keep the rind on, I cut the fruit in half and I juice it by hand, just the way you always do. And then with the shell that is left, I was reserving the whole shell, pith and all, and popping it into a big bowl. And then I added my sugar to that. It was just a little bit of a faster way of processing. But taking the peel off is by far the better method because the sugar will have more chance to actually extract the essential oils from the narrow bit of skin. Anyway, I'm going to be juicing now, a little bit of noise, and I might pop on some nice music so that you don't have to put up with the noise, hey?
Like a bird on a tree.
So that quantity of fruit made about 300 mils of fruit juice. So I'm going to peel some more, juice some more, and I'll be back in just a tick.
I'm just sitting here. I got time. It's clear to see from up here. The world seems small. We can sit together. It's so beautiful, you and me. We meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free.
So what I have here now is a beautiful jug of lemon, orange, mandarin and grapefruit juice. I'd already marked on my jug 700 mils, so I know exactly how much juice I have. And I know that I've got 700 grams of sugar in here, but we're going to double check as we go. So I am going to grab my trusty scales. This is my reserved rind. You can see that there's hardly any pith on here at all. But it wouldn't matter if it was, because if you remember back to when I do bulk batches of this and I actually just have the half citrus, there's a whole heap of rind and pith and everything else. The pith doesn't seem to add any bitterness when the sugar is mixed with it. It's only the essential oils that are extracted out of the rind. This just makes it easier for the sugar to do its work when it's peeled like this. Right, tear that off. So I'm back to 0. Now, there is no way that you could call cordial a health food, but it is certainly natural with only 2 ingredients. So there we go. I've got exactly the same amount of juice as I do sugar that is now with these peels. I'll grab a little spoon and mix it around. Now I'm going to leave these in a slightly warm, sunny spot, and I'm going to leave it for maybe an hour, and then I'll check on it and I'll see how much liquid has formed, and that will be the juice and the essential oils from the rind of the fruit. We'll see how much liquid has been extracted out of the fruit into the sugar, and if necessary we'll leave it for a little bit longer until I'm happy with the amount of liquid gold that's there. And then we'll come back and we'll add the juice and I'll show you the next stages. So I'll see you in just a little while. So we're back. It has been a few hours, but I'm wondering if you can see that the sugar has now changed consistency. It's now kind of thick and it's syrupy. And if I was to leave this longer, even more liquid would be extracted from the rind. But I'm getting impatient and I want to make this cordial. So we're going to add our reserved juice to this mix. It's still nice and frothy from the juicer. When you hand juice, of course, you just get the juice minus the froth, but this will still work equally as beautifully. Now, this bottle here is going to be sterilised in the oven at 100 degrees for about 20 minutes. And the lid, if you don't want to pop that in the oven, the lid can simply be boiled in some water and allowed to air dry. We're going to let this cordial, which is what we're making now, sit together so that the sugar dissolves. And do you know what? It actually feels as though it has already pretty much dissolved. So let's strain. Let's strain this and we'll pour it, because if I'm honest, this has already been sterilised. So we're simply going to strain the liquid from the rind and then pour it into this bottle. It can sometimes take a little while if the sugar's not completely dissolved, or if you've got pith in the juice, because it has to strain through the fine sieve. This is actually going quite well. I was surprised how quickly the sugar dissolved with the mix. And that bubbling you can hear is my soup stock on the stove. So I'm just going to turn that down while that is simmering. It is the day for cooking, I tell you. So you can see that now all I'm really left with in there is my rind. If I wanted to, I could let that sit for just a little bit longer and let every last morsel of liquid come out into the jug. But I want to show you this in the bottle. So this has been sterilised in the oven, 100 degrees, 20 minutes. I've made a little mess. I don't trust myself. grab yourself one of these. And look at this. Now I've got just a smidgen left over that won't fit in my bottle, but that's okay because I'm going to make a jug of cordial with my leftovers. I might even make 2 jugs. Who am I kidding? That's 1 jug. And we're going to drink that now. And this is going to go in the fridge for later. And you're going to use it just like you would normal cordial. A small amount in the bottom of a glass, top it with water. Soda water is also delicious. If you like a little sneaky vodka and lemon, add a little splash of your cordial to that. And trust me, you're not going to be disappointed. I hope you enjoy it.